What's going on? Welcome to probably the longest video I'm ever going to drop. This is going to be hopefully one cut. We'll see how it goes, but basically I just want to go over a complete 0 to 100, everything that I've known gotten to this point as a day trader. There was actually a dude who made a video similar to this a long time ago that I watched that I really appreciated. I forgot his name, it might have been like the trading channel or something like that, but it was like a 2-hour video going basically over everything. I'm not going to go that deep into, I guess, like, because he did a lot of like breaking down candlestick patterns and shit. Like, I don't really care about that, because now to this point, what I want to basically show you in this video is literally 0 to 100, what has brought me to this point. If you guys don't know me, or maybe you're watching this video for the first time, or maybe you see my other stuff, you know, like the fucking 19-year-old day trader. You know, I've been trading since I was 15. I'm 21 now. I just turned 21. I've been trading for, I like to say, around 5 years. The first year I kind of just messed around. You guys know how it is. And to this point now, again, I really don't like to flex a lot, but I've had basically, I made it officially. I made it. So main thing for me right now is just trying to help you guys out. A big thing that I got into, the reason why I started making videos and helping people, was because those people that initially helped me when I first got into trading, that light bulb and those emotions that I felt and those like feelings that I had, I can never get back. And I've always chased putting that into other people's minds. So if I can make this entertaining for you, if I can make you turn into a better man, trader, because look, I really don't care about trading. Genuinely, it's my job. You guys have jobs. You've worked somewhere before. You don't like to walk around and flaunt it and say you guys, you talk about your job outside of trading. No, when I'm outside, when I'm living my life and people talk to me about trading, I don't like it. It's my job. So hopefully it can turn into that for you. I know you might have a lot of passion for it right now, and it's one of those things where it's going to take a while to get to that end point, but and you're probably realizing at this point, if you're watching this video, how much money you can make, how much success you can have, and how much your life can change, just like it did for me, you and your family, and have the success in basically everything that you've ever wanted. I do believe this is the best job on the earth. I do believe it's also one of the hardest jobs on the earth. So we're going to talk about the metrics between those and the most important things you can do to really turn yourself up and get to that next level and really separate yourself from, loser, bot, person who, isn't making a lot of money, isn't having success, to, I don't want to say me, but me. And I just want to say real quick, my mentorship, I do one-on-one mentorships very rarely. I just opened them back up. I'm going to close registration on Sunday. You can apply in the first link below if you'd want to work with me one-on-one. I don't like to say it's going to guarantee you turn you profitable, but the people that I have worked with in the past.
As soon as his mentorship popped up, I'm a firm believer that to get what you want to get, you got to get as close to the people who have what you want to have as possible. About my trading, and I just took my first 2K payout this week, which is insane. It matters so much to be close to people who are already good at what you're doing. To have that kind of accountability, especially when like it comes from your own pocket, it means more to you. So if you're on the fence about it or not, like, it works.
So I really want to help you out, extend my open interest to you. If you want to get better at this, I do believe you need a coach. Think about this like a lot of sports. That's how I really think about trading. If I want to get good at golf, I need to get some golf lessons. So same exact thing applies here. For example, there's this guy that I knew named Blake. He was in my Discord for a while now. And there's also someone named Caden who I did one-on-ones with, and he's super cool as well. They both played baseball, and I was trying to relate these situations to them where it's like, bro, if you're batting 300, you're a really good baseball player. You're still missing, more than 2 out of 3 at-bats that you have. Anything that you are currently doing within your life, I'm sure you can relate it to trading. Like golf for me. Golf is one thing that I love. I love to do it because it's so hard. It takes so long to be good at. But, if I have one good golf shot every 18 holes, I'm super hyped. Like, I feel like, oh my God, like I love this shit. I'm getting better. Push that narrative of I can still have success by being 50-50, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. But that's always going to be the first step, is realizing your mental, like really what's going through your brain. What do I need to do to have the most success? How can I get to the point where I am trading right? That's the first step of basically everything. Is you have the foundation set, and again, a little bit of secret sauce, but when I'm talking in these one-on-ones, when I do help these people out, the main thing I always try to do is build that foundation. We go back to square one. We find out what can we do to really make sure that the foundation that we build this house on is super solid, because everything is going to be so much easier building it up, and it can go a lot higher if that foundation is strong. The first thing we need to do is make sure that you are mentally okay. So there's a lot of people that have some stuff going on financially or with their family, and a lot of that trails into trading. Like, I don't want to bring it back too much, because the world kind of just got over it. But when the whole Charlie Kirk thing went down, again, I'm not the most political person ever, but that was a very like sad time for me. Like, I think everybody felt very sad with what happened. And the days after that, I had a horrible trading week, and I just wasn't there mentally. And there's got to be a lot of times where you have to hold yourself accountable, because there's no more boss. There's no more person telling you what you can and can't do. You are going to be at the point where you are basically committing your life to something like this, and there's no one telling you what you can and can't do. And that's why everybody fails, is because you've never been in that leadership role before, and all of a sudden you're supposed to go out there and handle it, and you're not. And you're expected to win, and you're going to lose. There's so many things. And like, the biggest thing I hate with the trading space is, people with every other niche and sector of their life, college, whatever, any sort of trade they want to learn. You'll go to school, you'll learn for a while, you'll get better at it, you'll do some apprenticeship, or you'll do like an internship just to get in the door with this. And they're okay with that. But then they want to learn how to day trade. And, within a week or two, if they're not making money, it's a scam, it's gambling. Like, it's one of those things where it's going to be give and take. It's going to be a lot of give in the beginning. Within the last 2 months, I've made more money than I lost within my first 2 years in the last 2 weeks. So it's like, you're going to see that money back if you are willing to stick around long enough. And you guys just have to really look big picture with this. And I'm not going to say it's over for you if you started within your 20s, you're 20, 21 watching this video and you're trying to get into trading. You're still extremely young. And there's another thing I want to touch on with this. I've talked about this in the Discord too a lot, was when I was 15, 16, I believe I went to a seminar turning like 17, and I went to this trading seminar to get better at trading. That was when I was starting to like really open my eyes to it. I went to the seminar. By the way, I want to start doing in-person seminars because those are so sick. The last day of the seminar, they were handing out papers. I sat all the way in the back because I was by myself. I just didn't want to talk to everybody's 40, 50 years old, has jobs, has careers. I was literally just, a sophomore year of high school, whatever. And they were passing out these papers at the very end, and it was just like, why are you here? What are you doing this for? Who are you doing this for? And I was just like, I'm here to get better at trading. I'm doing this for my mom and my stepdad. I want to retire them. And he literally called on 3 people throughout this entire room of probably 200-300 people. And for some reason, he calls on me all the way in the very back, literally sitting, and I'm like, I like, as he said he was going to start calling people out, I like intentionally like kind of like was like down a little bit. Like, I didn't want him to call on me, of course, because I'm a super introverted person. I don't like talking in front of people. Well, I do now, but back in the day, especially, I was very, very, very introverted. And he calls on me, and I stand up, and I'm like, my name's Steph. I just want to get better at trading. I want to retire my parents. This is the lifestyle that I really want. And then he's like, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 17. And literally everybody goes like, oh my gosh, like, oh, and like everybody like looks at me. And then he said some shit to me, like a super inspirational like thing. And I'm standing there, I'm looking at him, I'm like tearing up. The entire room stands up and gives me like an ovation. And I was literally like on the verge of just like breaking down, just because I was so like hit with that, emotionally. Like, I was very like struck at that moment in a good way, but it was just like I just wanted to just pour my brains out because I just felt so like overwhelmed with this emotion. And that was a big turning point in my life, seeing that and just understanding my position. And so many people at the end of it, because they're like doing like a little networking thing at the end, coming up to me, giving their business cards, saying, hey, it's all good, like, you're gonna be great at this, I wish I was your age, all these things. And it just really put me into perspective. Maybe at that time I didn't have all the money in the world, I didn't have all the passion, I didn't have all the information, but I just had my age, I had my curiosity, and I had my passion for it, I guess, and that really pushed me to that next level. And you just need to find your spot in this entire game. You have to realize what you're looking for with this, how much you're willing to lose, how much you're willing to risk, to step away at a point. But the main thing that we need to realize, and we'll finally get into the actual trading aspect of this, is what are you going to trade? So first off, out of everything, there's 3 sectors that you can really dive deep into. Options trading, which there's a reason why I have it up with my middle finger, forex trading, and futures trading. You guys know, if you've seen my videos and stuff, I'm a futures trader with a big options trading background. The reason why I have options trading up with this finger is because it's extremely dangerous to get into. That is where I initially made most of my money. And at a point I realized if I could just trade futures and realize that it has all the benefits of options and all the benefits of forex with no really downside, and I could trade on a prop firm with not my own money, then I'm obviously going to do that. I'm a big leverage guy. That's the reason why I got into options in the first place. You can really use that for capital creation. And at that point when I was young, that's why I got into it, because I needed to create capital. So basically with options trading, what you're doing is you're trading options contracts. Most of the time, again, it's a leverage tool. It's extremely volatile. You can lose a lot of money. What I ended up doing after around 2 years of options trading is I would start every single week with $30,000 and sometimes it'd be Webull, sometimes it'd be Robinhood account. And I would basically give myself 5,000 in drawdown, and I would basically trade with that money throughout the entire week. And if it's above 30,000, I'm taking out the profit. If it's below 30,000, I'm putting it back in to start every single week at 30,000, seeing how I do it. And I basically would repeat that process over and over and over again with pretty much a max loss every single week of $5,000. And I'd just repeat the process. And it went well. It was doing great. I was making money. But again, you have to realize that's $30,000 set aside. That's $30,000 I'm risking every single day of my own real money, when I could just spend $30 and get a $50,000 futures funded account. So just, you guys, if you do have traded futures before, you understand why I got into it. I never really got into forex. I did trade forex a couple times, but it's pretty scammy and it's kind of trash. And again, there's benefits to forex and there's benefits to options trading, and then futures is a perfect combination of both of them without any of the negatives. So that's why I ended up getting into futures. Basically what you do is you're going to be trading on a prop firm account, and I don't want to say anything too much, but I've now just partnered with Tradeify. Tradeify is going to be my pretty much exclusive partner for basically forever now. The main thing that they have, which is just so sick, is they have a funded account, so you can literally just go straight to funded. So you buy them and you are automatically funded on them, and every single dollar you make on those accounts going forward is going towards your next payout. I really want you guys to take advantage of something like that, because a lot of you are going through this process of burning through, a funded account here, funded account there, funded account there, and you're spending $500, $400 trying to pass a funded account just to then get one live account, when you could literally skip that entire process and you could really start to just take it slow. And again, every single trade that you take, every single dollar you make is going towards that next payout. If you're interested in something like that, they also do have regular evals and advanced accounts, but the straight to funded account is really where I'm going to hammer. Use code Steph on Tradeify. I'm going to be doing a lot of giveaways going forward, so I can't wait to do that. Maybe comment Tradeify on the bottom of this video. Maybe I'll give out some accounts just for the fuck of it. So what is a funded account and how can I make money using it? I'm sure a lot of you guys have already figured out what a funded account is, but we'll go over it super quickly. Basically, you're just going to buy an account with a firm. I would suggest Tradeify, again, code Steph, and you're basically given an account at, let's say, X value. Most, I'd say most, random and most common would be 50K. And let's say you have to make, 53K before you lose 3K. So, 47,000. Let's say on your first day you make like $800, whatever. Let's say you lose 1,600. The next day you're down here, you make 700, whatever, you're back here. And let's say the next day you pass the account and you hit that 53K. At that point, the account will reset. You'll either activate it depending on the firm if they have an account, or if you're straight to funded on Tradeify, you just automatically take a payout here. Skip that entire process of doing this. But let's say if not, you're bought it, you use a regular eval account, you would actually have to pay, let's say $100 to activate that account. Going forward, it would reset right back at this 50,000 number, and any money you make going forward, if you do meet the requirements, you can actually withdraw that money for real capital. Best part about it is you're given this much in funding, for the most part 50,000, and usually if you do buy the eval, pass the account, activate it, you're usually only in for around $250. So you guys can see how much profit and how much leverage you have when you do trade with these accounts, because if you do reach that first payout, for the most part you're at least taking out around maybe $800 to $1,000 on your first payout. Now frankly, it is pretty hard to do that, especially on your first one, and that's why the first thing I would suggest to you, man, is the first time you buy a funded account, again, I'm sure a lot of you guys already passed this point, but just blow it. Literally buy the cheapest funded account you can find and just blow it. You need to realize, and something that I can literally preach to you from my perspective and from what I've done and how I've done things, and the fact that I've been on live accounts before, even with futures, is it's extremely different than paper trading, than just trading, for fun, than having your own personal account, because now you have to do the same exact thing. You have to be profitable already, which is already super hard to do, even with just a live account, your own rules, everything going on. You could make as much as you want, do as much as you want, whatever. Now you have to actually follow their rules. So that's where it really gets really sticky. I like to think of prop firms very similar to a casino. Now, not in the fact that it's gambling, but they have a very strong advantage. They only make money when you lose, and there's a reason why these prop firms make so much money, is because there's so many people that go in there without a plan, trying to gamble, trying to treat this like a casino, and maybe they'll make money every once in a while, but for the most part, they're just dropping their bands right into this prop firm, and the profitable traders are actually exploiting them, using that money and taking it from them and putting it in their pocket. So it is a very competitive game. You guys have to understand the gambling shit. When you do trade a lot and you just consistently try to gamble, for the most part, you're never going to make money. Within trading, everything within life, man, less is more. The more that you do, the more likely you're going to lose. I really try to bat this into a lot of people's heads that I help teach. The more trades you take, the more money you're going to lose. You are going to lose trading, period. So if you could, increase the volume of that, you're obviously going to increase the volume of your losses. You are going into a rigged game in a sense with these prop firms. You have to really make sure that you have an extremely concrete plan. So what would be the first step of an actual profitable trading plan? I would say step one by far is info. Now this one is kind of like a prerequisite. I would say you basically need to know what you're doing, okay? And that's why you're watching this video right now. You cannot go into the day with any questions. You should be able to answer everything that you are doing. There should be no more gray space or, like let's just say like unknown going into the day. At this point, if you are going to take a trade on an eval, on an account that you purchased, there should be no more what ifs. There should be no more I don't know. You need to know exactly what you're doing. And right now, maybe you don't have that. So it's probably not a good idea to spend your hard-earned money on a fucking funded account because you're probably going to lose it. Step two, another prerequisite, like something you really don't involve with your trading plan. I mean, yes, to an extent, but understanding news. Okay, so there's a bunch of different news, and we'll actually go on Forex Factory right now and look at the, differences between news. There's two parts of this I want you to understand. Step one is obviously very simple. You guys cannot trade when there's news going on. So for example, let's say like Monday, 8:30 a.m., market opens up at 9:30 for me. This is all in Eastern Standard Time. Usually we don't need to worry about that because it's before the market opens, and I usually don't like to do that. But for the most part, let's just say what I usually run into is because I like to trade from like 9:30 to 10:30 every single morning, and we'll get into that in a second. All I need you to make sure you're doing is just do not trade or be in a trade right at 10 o'clock. You could be in a trade at 9:58 and exit at 9:59 or 1 minute right after. Just do not be in a trade ever when there is news releasing, because you are losing your edge off of the rip. You are gambling. And yes, it can work sometimes. I've been on the right side of it a couple times, and it will pay you very, very well. But you are basically going into a coin flip. You are supposed to be trading off of setups. You should be trading off of price action, breaking down, understanding what price is doing, seeing why this goes up, this comes down, this rejects, and this went higher. You should be usually always trading off of something like that. Let's say, for example, we got into a trade right here, and let's say it was 10 o'clock, and we actually end up hitting take profit. Let's say right here, boom, the next candle shoots this all the way up to my TP, and we hit TP, and we're super excited. But we traded through news. Do you think this candle played out because of this candle, or because news came out and it actually increased the price of NASDAQ? Probably the second one. Okay, so it's just, yes, you might make money, and yes, you might hit a trade, but guess what? This person is going to hit this trade off of news, act super excited, get super overconfident in their trading style, when in reality, it had no effect on the actual outcome, because news took over. News controls everything inside of these big markets. So when it comes out, fuck your setup. It could look like anything. It's going to do whatever it wants regardless. So it's just extremely risky, and you're gambling. Second part of this is understanding what news you shouldn't even trade, what news you should take, kind of consideration for, and what styles you can actually implement to make sure when you do see news releases, especially before the market opens up, you can actually give yourself an edge and increase the opportunity for yourself. So first one, let's just say go back to Monday, 8:30, we had an orange folder come out pre-market. Okay, so one thing I want you to understand, and I'll recommend this to you, this is forexfactory.com. You can go to their economic calendar and you can see this exact layout. This is what I use. Okay, so it's actually meant for Forex. So when you see this red number right here, the actual, so for example, the forecast was what was predicted was going to come out, and the actual, which is what came out, release, and it says red, negative 8.7. So what this means, this is good for the stock market. Okay, so I want you to understand this. Forex, usually all of these are representing good for the dollar, bad for the dollar. For the most part, just trust me on this. I know it can get confusing. Whenever you see a red outcome, it's usually good for the markets that we trade. If you're trading NASDAQ, if you're trading gold, if you're trading ES. So for the most part, whenever you see red, it's actually good for us. When you see green, it's bad for us. Okay. This is what you need to understand. Monday at 8:30, we had a orange folder come out, the Empire State Manufacturing Index. Okay, and if you ever have a question on what these are, it's really not a big deal to know these. You'll actually just start to understand them as you go. But if you click this little drop-down menu right here, you'll actually see why traders care, what it does, all these shits. Basically, the color comes down to everything. Okay, so you guys see orange, you guys see red, you guys see yellow. For the most part, yellow means nothing. For the most part, there's a couple yellows that actually are kind of tough, but most of the time, you just don't need to actually care what comes out with these. You just can't be in a trade when they go down, okay? But for the orange and the red folders specifically, red folders obviously are the most important. You really need to look at what these are actually releasing and what these are giving to us. So for example, on Monday at 8:30, when this Empire State Manufacturing Index came out, and it came out bullish for, the stock market, if price is actually climbing off of this, because sometimes with news, even if it's good, it'll still just kind of chop, whatever. If we're seeing a bullish reaction out of the stock market with this, and we know that news was also bullish, there's a pretty strong side that you should probably play to it, okay? So it's all about finding your bias off of news. Any sort of information you can get, you can increase that edge. A lot of this video is going to be about building this edge for yourself and making sure that you're ready to actually trade and actually set that edge up. Right now, let's say, if you're just taking, up or down, you're buying or selling, that edge is right in the middle. You have really 50-50 outcome right now. You can really start to shift it in your direction if you really start to pile up this trading plan that I'm going to make for you. On Tuesday, 8:30, we had 2 red folders come out, both bearish, okay? So if we saw that this was coming out bearish, we check the stock market, it's down, you probably should continue to play to that side. Understand this once again. There's nothing that moves the stock market more than news. So if news comes out and you see that it's being negatively affected, you need to stick to that side. There's a very, very, very few amount of people that have success trading against the stock market. So there's few times where you're going to actually trade against the trend. We are little fish. I've made the analogy before a couple times. Those little fish that stick to sharks, those little sucker fish, they stick to the side of sharks, they just ride with them. That's what we have to do. We are retail traders. It's not good to trade against the market because we're always going to get burnt. We have no influence. It's more likely that it's going to continue to go in one direction than it actually is supposed to flip around. There's one thing I need you guys to really stay away from, and it is FOMC events. And I'm sure, again, you've heard of these before. You've heard of Jerome Powell. There's 2 different things I need you to understand. An FOMC press conference and an FOMC statement, that is probably the max news event for you. This whole week was technically a takeoff week, because the entire week, what was happening Monday and Tuesday, in most scenarios, these red folder and these yellow folders we were talking about and these orange folders I was telling you about usually mean something. But when Wednesday comes around and there's a big FOMC conference, everybody is anticipating these events, okay? The market is always going to have price baked in. That's one thing with options trading that you don't need to worry about with futures trading, is that if Apple's going to drop a new phone in like 2 months or whatever, people will sometimes, like, I used to fucking go and buy Apple calls, like, oh my gosh, when these come out, the price of Apple's going to climb. But it's already baked into these contracts. Everything is already baked in. You're never smart enough. You'll never, ever be smart enough to get to the hype before you actually get to the hype. It's always factored in. Okay, so this entire Monday, Tuesday was all set up, and it was all chopping because they knew when this came around, the market was going to explode, and it did. You guys see, I think this was it right here. I could easily find it if I just look at it, something or like around this time. If we go on the 15-minute, it'll be a little bit easier to see. This was it right here, I believe. Yep, Wednesday at 2 p.m. You guys see, look at the entire, this here was a little decent. This was a news candle. We see right here, this is when that FOMC came out. So you guys obviously see the very strong volume between these 2 candles. It fucked shit up, and it actually took a while and actually went back higher, and it went back above because we actually cut rates, which was good for the market. But you guys see the day before specifically, we had a nice sell-off, but look at all the chop we had and just anticipating this event. So a lot of the time when you see an FOMC statement like this, just take the week off, but more than anything, make sure you are not trading on this day, because it's all just setting up and waiting, and you're just going to get really bad price action. And when it happens, it's going to explode, and you're not going to know what you're going to do. And once again, that is when we lose our edge. We are best off in a scenario where there's very little news, maybe a little bit, but just enough news to keep market, having pretty solid volume. When you're taking trades around stuff like this, around FOMC, just for an example, you're never going to have an edge. The market is not going to move off of your fucking setups, okay? It's just going to move off of news. It's going to move off of man talking. So you really lose that edge in the market when stuff like this goes on, because once again, you have 0 control over this, and you're just going to get caught on a massive wave to either side. And sometimes you'll make money and sometimes you won't. Like in a scenario like this, people probably got in longs around here because they saw this was coming out bullish. Next candle, dropped off of a cliff. This looks horrible. Then guess what? The rest of the day we just chopped all the way back up and went even higher. So went down, went up, went down even lower, and then went back even higher over the next day. So it's just like you are going to basically be jumping into a very risky game. You're not going to make money, okay? So we need to be in scenarios like next week. I'll go over to next week. We'll see. A lot of news, but look, you can see we have flash manufacturing. Powell speaks at 12. We're probably not going to trade that day, but again, we don't need to take the week off. We will trade Monday. We won't trade Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, okay? Because once again, we have to understand when Powell's speaking, the entire day now is going to be set up for this guy to speak, because when he talks, everybody fucking listens. And even Monday might be a little dangerous too, so we'll just see what happens. I'm not going to be too aggressive with it. Next part of your trading plan, and again, I know this is just the initial part of this video, so let's, I'll try and keep it a little bit quick, but trading plan, it's extremely important. This is basically your jump shot at a point. So the third thing you really need is your style, okay? So everybody has different styles they like to trade. Some people like to trade higher time frame, some people like to trade lower time frame. I've been around the block a couple times. I've basically done everything at this point. You really just need to find out what you like to do. Some people like to trade NASDAQ. Some people like to trade gold like me. There's a lot of things that are just very personal to you. And you have to realize really quickly, if you watch these ICT videos, you watch all these people talking about you need to trade this way, you need to trade this way, you're not going to make money. Those guys are all bullshit, scamming you. They literally just want your money, okay? So there's a really big thing that you need to understand with this game is that nobody knows what's going to happen next. Zero people have any insight on what the market is going to do. You have just as much opportunity to make money as I do every single morning. No one knows what's going to happen, but you just need to put yourself in situations where you can actually exploit price action using your style. That's going to come down to how you like to trade. There's no right way to do things. Oh, but don't fuck that up. Don't take that and just run and just make something stupid up, because if I will yell at you. But for the most part, you can do whatever you'd like with this, and that's the best thing, is because you guys got into this to get away from all that shit. So why are you watching these guys on YouTube telling you to just do exactly what they do and buy their course? It doesn't work like that, bro. There's not a single person that can trade just like someone else, because they have way different risk tolerance and insight and psychology and confidence and finances. Like, everything is going to change when you put your foot in this game, and I think that's a good thing. So you need to exploit that. You need to be happy that you get to build your own thing. My biggest quote I always say to people is you need to just be grab things from other people. If you like my certain style, you like my confidence, like the way I talk or do anything, you can take a little bit of that and take a little bit from someone else and take a little bit from someone else, and you can just mush it all together into your own little meatball, and that can be your style. So just making sure you have a style that you really believe in. Okay, so for example, I've been working on this model for a long time on gold, but we can actually just jump to the different one because I'm not done with it yet and I need some work. But on NASDAQ, I have a very specific model that I created called Shadow Supply. You guys can watch a video on it. I have a multiple super strong trading strategy that you can use, and it's very simple to do. It's a lot of sitting back, waiting, getting an entry, taking it, and you're just running a 1-to-1 at the end of the day. So it's not anything too crazy, but that's my style. That's when I like to trade NASDAQ. That's what I'm doing, because I know at that point I have a high win rate with it. It's very simple, and it's the same exact thing every single time. The reason why this style is so important, you look at, again, related to basketball. Steph Curry shoots the same every single shot. LeBron shoots the same every single shot. Tyler Hero shoots the same every single shot. Klay Thompson shoots the same. They have a jump shot. Why do they have a jump shot? Because they know when they shoot like that, they have a way higher chance of going in versus if they were to shoot with one hand, or they were to shoot like Larry Bird over the back. It's just, that's their style, because they know if they do that, they have a way higher chance of making the basket. So the main thing you need to make sure with your style, again, Shohei Ohtani, Tiger Woods, when Shohei's up to bat, he's got a very strong lefty bat stance. When Tiger Woods is hitting a golf club at his best, he's swinging it exactly how he likes to swing. Scotty Scheffler, he does a little shuffle with his feet. That's not normal. No one would ever suggest that to do that to him, but he does that. And when he does that, he wins majors. So he's not going to stop. Exactly what you need to do here. It doesn't matter if it's not, orthodox or not. If it works for you, you need to make sure, one, you enjoy it, and one, it's your thing. But more than anything, it's the same exact thing over and over and over and over again. And that's why I suggest you guys to make a model, create a model for yourself, use my model, use anybody's, because of that, consistently, it's going to be the same exact thing every single time. You're going to get numb to the emotion, which is a good thing, because in this game, a lot of this can really be judged, and you can get tilted, and you can really just start to really fall off a cliff with this, because you'll lose a trade or you'll lose an eval, whatever. Oh, fuck, I'll just buy another one full port or whatever. Fuck it. Oh, whatever. This trade looks all right. Whatever. I lost that trade yesterday. I need to make it back. I'll just take it here. You'll start to just open up that gateway of just hell. I'll call it hell. And you'll start to just lose. You'll start to overtrade. You'll start to overcomplicate things. You'll get lost, and you'll blow, and you'll lose more money. Okay. So the sooner you get through all of that, and I really want to make this video and talk with you guys about this stuff, because like I said, this is pretty much everything that I know. This is my encyclopedia of my brain. If you guys can get this from me, it can save you a lot of money, a lot of time, 5 years of work, 5 years of just, I would say it took me around 3.5 years to start making money trading, but that 3.5 years was hell for me. It was so bad. I put all my money into an options account. I lost literally my entire net worth. I stepped away from the game for like 6 to 8 months, worked, made as much money as I could, got back into it, and I haven't left since, So it's just like, you're going to go through these struggles. Everybody's going to have their canon events, but you just have to be able to get over it. You have to look big picture, and that's why I got into it young, So if you are young watching this video, please don't commit your life to this just yet. Don't full port your life savings like I did, but you need to realize that you are in a better situation than most. You don't have bills to pay for. That was the big thing for me. When I lived with my parents, I didn't have bills to pay for. I didn't have things to worry about. So I would just basically every dollar I had, everything I did, I would go right into trading, So it was very easy for me to just start running up and just taking out chances and opportunity, because I could take the risk. Because if, I know that if I lose that money, it's whatever. I have food on my plate. I have, a place to sleep. So my parents are paying for that shit. Next thing you need is a schedule. So what does this mean? You guys kind of said earlier, I like to trade from 9:30 to 10:30 every single day. Past that, nothing. Okay. And when I do go past it, sometimes I still break my rules, you guys. This isn't a video, that's going to make you concrete. I still break my rules. I still do as I say, not as I do. All right. Look, I'm 21, bro. Like, I still fuck things up. But guess what? When I do trade past my window, I fucking lose. And by the way, I'm live on Twitch every single day in the mornings. If you guys want to pop out, totally for free. Twitch, YouTube, you guys will see me on there. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. I've been putting out videos for a while now, and I'm trying to see something. Like the video, subscribe, and save it for later, because you're not watching this in one take. I guarantee it. Basically, you need to have a schedule. You see what I'm trying to get here? Every single thing you do needs to be the exact same every single day. It needs to be a routine for you. So if you trade from 9:30 to 10:30 every single day, that's your window. You understand, you get better at trading that session. Good thing about trading futures, there's not a lot of options. Like when I was trading, I just said options, but when I was options trading, I trade Nvidia, I trade Meta, I trade Nas, I trade basically every tech stock, Facebook, Meta, or Facebook, Google, all that shit. I would trade everything. And the hard thing with that is that you have to realize that all these move different. So when when I'm trading this, I have to act like this. When I'm trading this, I have to act like this. When you're trading NASDAQ every single day, when you trade gold every single day, you start to pick up on things. I've been trading NASDAQ now for, I would say 3 years, a little bit with options too. I was trading QQQ. I really started to realize how things move and what it likes to do and how it likes to trade, especially in my window. So I have an edge during that window because I've been trading so long within it. I know how it works. I know the volume that's going to be anticipated with it. I know the risk that I'm willing to take, okay? So at that point, you need to make sure you have a schedule. For me, I also like to trade at night. I like to trade gold at night more than anything. So if I'm trading gold at night, I usually like to do like 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern every single night. By the way, sometimes I'm live. Usually I'm live in the Discord at night though. But I know past my window, I'm just going to bed. I don't need to stay up longer and watch it. I know every single day there's going to be a new opportunity for me. I'm going to stand up when I say this because I'm not even standing up because I'm too lazy, but there will always be another day to trade, okay? So you do not need to take a trade every single day. I really would challenge you to not trade for a week. Look at the charts every single day, watch my streams every single day, watch me trade and make money and fucking dance on you and flex, and don't take a single trade. I guarantee you that you can't, because you're addicted to this shit, and that's okay. I'd be lying if I wasn't. I mean, I'm really not anymore, but I really hate this shit. But I was very, very addicted to trading. Not even about the money aspect, but just the whole principle with it. Just like you are, and you have to realize, all that stuff I said earlier about the more you trade. Obviously that's going to come with more losses, but more than anything, like, you have to shut it down because you act like there is no tomorrow. I promise you, dude. I said this before. If the stock market's not open up tomorrow, there's bigger problems. The entire world has gone down. If there is no stock market tomorrow or on Monday, because it's Saturday right now, there's no stock market, it's over for us. We're all gone. It's dead. We're all dead. So at that point, fuck it, dude. I'm not gonna be in my house. I'm not gonna be in my computer. I'm gonna be in the fucking woods with my blicky, bro, and just trying to hide it and survive. Like, at that point, like, there's always going to be another trade. Every single day. There's never not going to be. So you need to stop chasing so hard and making every single session feel like you have to take a trade. And sometimes I won't lie because I stream and I alert my trades and stuff. Like, I force it, and I know it's bad. And I've made it clear before. I've told my Discord, so everybody, like, guys, like, cut me a fucking break. Everybody's like, yo, I need to alert. And it fucks me up because I'll force a trade. I'll take a B plus trade. I'll say, like, all right, whatever. We'll take a shot at it. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, fuck it. and it doesn't work. And then I'm like, fuck, well, I just lost all these people money. I just lost myself money. I'll just go fuck myself now. And that's where you really start to, again, open up that gateway. It's like marijuana, bro. Like all these motherfuckers, you start smoking weed, bro. And then you start doing all this other shit. And then it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And then you're cooked, so just, you can't open your mind to that stuff, and that's just going to be the first start. And I really hope that I can put that on you right now. That didn't sound right, but I really hope I can instill that with you, because again, if you can just stay away from that, if you can just stay like sheltered and just like, stay pure, it's going to really help your development and really make you a better trader. I just realized I'm going to do like a 2-part. I'm probably going to do like 5 parts with this. So this is going to be one video. It's going to be probably around like 30, 40 minutes. This is going to be the first part, just the trading plan, okay? But I think this one's really important. But okay, next part of this is going to be goals. You have to make sure you have goals within your trading day. I'm not talking about goals throughout your whole life or goals through, your whole trading career, whatever. Every single day, it needs to be the exact same. What did I tell you guys, okay? So when you are doing something like this, your goals, for example, let's just say you are willing to risk $400 and you're hopefully aspiring max make 800, okay? So that's your window. So if you lose 400 and you're 15 minutes into your session, you're done. If you make 600, 700, 800 and you're halfway through your session, you're done. Okay? So there needs to be goals, there needs to be stop losses, not within a trade, but within your mind, okay? When I get up this much, I'm done regardless. I need to stop. When I'm down this much, I'm done regardless. I need to stop. I have a very strong thing I like to do. Usually when I'm on evals and stuff, I don't do it as much anymore just because I really rarely get 3 trades off in a session. But if I lose 3 trades in a row and I'm doing like scalpy stuff, I'm done. You have to understand this. If you have a trading style, which I'm trying to get you right now, a plan, if you lose 3 trades in a row, my mentality with it is it's not my fault, okay? You have to blame the market's not moving how you like it to. The price action sucks. I know me, Steph trades. If I lose 3 trades in a row, it's not like I'm it's impossible, but for the most part, I really do believe in how I trade and my style and my intuition within trading. If I lose 3 trades in a row, you probably lost 6, so it's just like I hold myself to that standard and I just say, okay, at that point, market's not moving right. Guess what? I'll just trade tomorrow. That's totally fine. And I'll just make it back. Like it's really not that bad. Okay. So just being able to have that mindset of like, okay, maybe it's not my fault. I love, you have to find a way to just push it on something else. Okay. And don't do that the whole time. That's going to be the end of this video for now. Please like and subscribe if you want me to do more of these, because I will continue to do these. I really like these kind of more bare bones style of trading and just talking to you guys and making you better. Please subscribe. Check out the one-on-ones if you want me to below. If you want to work in the one-on-one, just check those out below. Again, they close on Sunday, so if you want to make an appointment, go for it. I will make you profitable. I will literally make you profitable. Like, subscribe, use code StephTradeify. Later.